Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening to you, wherever you may be in the world. This is By Hook or By Needles, and I am Sam. And I thought I'd just show my latest cast on. This is the 17th of February here today at 9 a.m. I started this, see if I can get a bit more light in here. Not really, no, that's not going to help. I started this yesterday at about 24 hours ago, I suppose. This is what the finished project should look like. Hang on, where's it going to go? It's, as you can see, it's a jumper with a, what do you call it, a garland of holly berries and leaves around the yoke. My daughter's name is Holly, so I'm actually making this for her for Christmas. She is in the UK at the moment, and she will still be there, I assume, at Christmas this year. So she'll need something nice and warm. So this is what I'm making. I'm using 100% Bendigo Woolen Mills yarn, which you can sort of see one of the colors here. Now this yarn, here we go. This is an 8-ply, which is a light 3 or 3 DK, and I think that's the only names for it. But yeah, so this is what I'm using. The actual pattern called for holding together a mohair and I think some sort of sock yarn, but I didn't want to do that. I wanted just to have the one yarns. So I went for the, one yarn. So now, why have I got all these ends? That's one of the things I want. Now, this is a folded collar, a folded cuff, a folded ribbing, whatever you want to call it. I've actually got, I did a video already on this, which was posted, yesterday, as I was making this, the collar. So if you want to see how that's done, I'll put the link in the description. But yeah, so is that the back or the front? See, I had to do, for the first time, this is the back, I think, and this is the front. For the first time I've actually had to do a, oh, now I've lost my stitch marker. Yeah, typical. There it is. That's all right. I'll put it over there. For the first time ever, I actually had to do a short rows on the back to make the back longer. I'm not sure why we do that, but anyway, so that sort of when you put the edge together, you sort of get the back sticks up a little bit more. But anyway, so that's how far I've got. Now, I've got to my first berries. I knew the word would come to me eventually. I've gotten to my first berries. Now, as you can see, this is Fair Isle knitting. And get my yarn untangled. Now, why have I got all these red ends? Well, let me explain. What I did, now I could have done one of two things. I could have attached my ball of red yarn, and I could have knitted this stitch and then carried it along across the back to the next stitch, and so on and so forth. But as these stitches are very far apart, and also they are literally just 2 rows. The first row is this just single stitch to establish it. The second row is making a knitted bobble. So what I actually did is I just went to the spot of the first knitted bobble. I attached my main yarn. I knit the stitch, the one stitch. Then I put it back on the left hand needle, and I went ahead and knit the bobble. And then I, held out a end, a good long end, and cut the yarn. Then I unraveled it, looked at the length, measured it against my arm, from my hand to my chest. So it's basically the length of my arm plus it sort of comes to just underneath my chin. Why have I done that? Like I say, so I don't have to carry the yarn. So basically what I can do here is I can complete each bobble, and then I'm not carrying extra yarn. I'm not carrying extra colors. So you're not going to have any breakthrough colors coming through on the white side, which is a particular concern for me. I don't like it when you sort of get the colors sort of showing through when you carry them. So that's what I've done here. Let me show you. Hang on. Okay. Where's my stitch marker? Put that back on, and I'll just show you how we do the bobble on this one. So I'll just knit to the stitch. And like I said, it's a bit of a mess, but there will be for this row, until I get all these ends put away. So it's 3, and then it's a green stitch. And then what I've got to do for my bobble, oops, sorry, hit the camera. I've got to find the instructions for the bobble because it's pretty, yeah. So I haven't actually even tied a knot here. And again, I'll show you why in the end. So I need to hold on to the tail end. I'm just going to wrap that around the finger just so it's tight, so it's not going to, pull, loosen up or anything as I'm knitting. What I need to do is turn this one stitch. I'll come a bit closer now. I've got to turn this one stitch into 5. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to knit through the back loop. I'm not going to take, not going to take the stitch off. I've knit through the back loop. Then I'm going to knit through the front loop. Still not going to take the stitch off. Then I'm going to go back again and knit through the back loop. That's 3 stitches I've got. Then I'm going to go to the front again and knit a stitch. And that is 4 stitches. And then finally, I'm going to knit through the back stitch. Hang on, I might need to come out a little bit. Otherwise, I keep going off screen. And then I've got 5 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then I can take it off. Okay. Then it tells me I've got to put all those stitches back onto my left hand needle because I'm going to work them again because I'm going to be making a bobble. Where's my tail end gone? There it is. Don't want to lose my tail end. So I'm just going to put them all over to the left hand needle again. Yep, that's right. Left hand needle again. And then it tells me I've got to knit 5. So I've got to knit them all. Don't use your tail end. Make sure you use your strands you've got. And I've made these way, way too long, by the way. But I'd rather have them too long than not long enough. So now I've got to knit 5. 1. That always happens when I don't mute my computer. 2. 3. 4. And 5. Okay. And then it tells me I've got to pick up the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th stitch and pass it over the 1st stitch, one by one. So 2nd stitch goes over the 1st stitch, third stitch goes over the first stitch, fourth stitch goes over the first stitch, fifth stitch goes over the first stitch. Then this stitch has to go back onto the left hand needle yet again, and then is it using, okay, yep, then I have to use my green yarn and I knit it with the green yarn. Now I have made a bobble, as you can see. Hang on, just let me get my ends. And now you can see I've made a nice little bobble. It's not a huge bobble. It is only little, but it is slightly raised. And then what I can do is I can come to the back, I can cut off the excess, I can tie these ends together so they don't come loose. I'm not going to pull too tight, but I'm going to pull tight enough that, you know, it's secure. And do a double knot. Just pull it like that. And then it's done. And then all I need to do is just continue and go to the next one. And I do exactly the same thing. As I say, in this way, yes, I'm going to have a lot of ends to weave in for each one, but I'm not having to carry each one. And believe you me, when you're doing Fair Isle, which is usually 2 colors only, Fair Isle is classed mainly as 2 colors per row. If I were to carry that third one, it's still Fair Isle, but it's just a little bit more complex. So that's that. I just thought I'd show you that, just, you know, because it might be sort of worthwhile or handy to somebody. There is, you know, I've probably made, like I say, this is how much I got left over. Yeah, it's way more than I need, but I'd rather have too much than not enough. So I just keep knitting, following my pattern. Where is what happens next? And yep, and I just keep going until I get to the next one, and then I do it all over again. Time consuming, very much so, but I think the overall effect is quite pretty. So yeah, and then hang on, where am I up to? See, I can't. 1, 2, 3, 1. Yep, 1, 2. And then 3. Now each cluster of, there's, I think, 5 berries. If we look at our pattern, or look at a picture, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 berries per sort of cluster. So there's a lot of berries to be done, but in the end, it will be worth it. And of course, once I've got past, once I've got past all of that section, yeah, it's done. So there we go. Okay, that's it. That's all I wanted to show you really today. I just wanted to show you my latest cast on, which is this one, and you know, how to do those little bobbles. And yeah, I better get back to it, because these rows are going to take an awful long time. And I think the next oh no, then I got 2 rows without a bobble. Then I got, oh gosh, then the next row has 2 bobbles per cluster, or per leaf cluster, then 1. Yeah, so it's going to take a while, but I really do like the look of it, and I hope my daughter appreciates it. With the same yarn, I got the same yarn because Bendigo Woolen Mills do this luxury line in a 4-ply as well. I got yarn also to do some socks, and I'm going to put the same motive, I hope, on the socks. If it will fit, I might only be able to get one motive at the front or something. I don't know yet. I've got to work that out. But I do have other socks with holly berry motives and whatnot. Okay, all right. Well, thanks for watching. I hope you found that interesting. Give me a like. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. I really do appreciate those that are subscribing and following and listening all the time. Till next time, please take care, and remember, please, always, always have fun. Live today to the fullest. Do what you need to do first, then do what you want to do. Okay, take care, everybody. Bye for now.